No, I'm not really getting ready for a concert in Carnegie Hall. However, I am warming up to get ready to go sail my Bandit IF. Now, it's a great little boat. Because it's made to sail very realistically, it can be a bit complex to do correctly. If you're a one-finger typist, be ready for some serious work. If you took piano lessons as a kid and didn't sneak out the back door when your mom wasn't listening, you're going to be in great shape to perform what I call the Bandit IF 10-finger keyboard dance, composed by Annalisa Dean. So let's tackle the hard stuff first. That is sailing the IF close to the wind and then tacking through the wind. Now the Bandit IF is programmed to have what is called weather helm. Now what does that mean? Well, it means that the boat has a tendency, if left alone, to want to point the bow into the wind. It's a good thing if you're sailing by yourself and fall overboard. And on a real-life sailboat, some weather helm is desirable. Let's look at what causes it. Now, weather helm can be caused by several factors, one of which is the configuration, trim, and balance of the sails, and the other cause is when the boat leans over or heels. Now, when the boat is flat, its footprint on the water, shown in yellow on this diagram, is uniform on both sides of the boat. Heel the boat over, and as this wide part of the boat goes into the water, the footprint changes on one side and causes the boat to want to head into the wind. Now you're going to notice that this new footprint shape looks a lot like the example of the aircraft wing and the sail when we were discussing how they generate lift. Remember, that was the Bernoulli principle, and that principle actually deals with fluids. Air just happens to behave like a fluid. Just like the wing of an airplane, as the water passes over the curve, lift is created, and this turns the bow into the wind. Now, instead of aerodynamic lift, this is called hydrodynamic lift. If you want a mood killer, just drop that at a cocktail party. Now, you can minimize this weather helm by keeping the boat as flat as possible in the water. Now, that is why the IF is much easier to sail close to the wind if you have a crew. The more weight you can hike out, the flatter you're able to keep the boat. The bow of the Bandit IF tends to hunt around a little bit, and the trick seems to be to make as small a correction as possible and avoid oversteering. If you watch the bow, you see it move back and forth a little bit, and then you'll see it dig in and start to turn to windward. At this point, a small application of tiller should bring it back. The less correcting you can do, the better. Now, on other points of sail, going from point A to point B, we simply point the boat in the direction we want to go and then adjust the sail for optimum efficiency. Now, since we know we can't sail a course that is into the wind, we end up instead having to sail a zigzag course, turning through the wind as required. We simply sail as close to the wind on one side, tack through the wind, and then sail close to the wind on the other side. Seems like a lot of work, and it is, but just so you know, changing the wind is going to earn you a rap across your knuckles with my ruler. As we sail this zigzag course, we're actually just sailing an optimum apparent wind angle. This wind angle is approximately 30 to 32 degrees, and the boom angle is set around 15 or 16 degrees. Since we have no data readout on the jib, we set the jib so the telltales are streaming and it's not luffing. Now, just so you know, the jib is actually what drives this boat to weather. Having it trimmed correctly is crucial. Since we have our sails set for the desired wind angle, if there's a deviation, instead of trimming the sails, we actually correct by turning the bow of the boat. If you're sailing correctly, the sails don't luff, the telltales stream back, and our panels are green. If the sails start to luff, the panels turn yellow, we turn the boat slightly away from the wind until everything is correct. Now, this is something you'll see a lot because of the weather helm. You do not adjust the sails. If the telltales droop and the screens turn blue, that's telling us that we are too far off the wind. The angle to the wind is too great, and we simply turn the boat slightly back into the wind until everything is back to normal. Again, we do not adjust the sails. Now comes the fun part. Our goal is to turn through the wind as quickly as possible to the other side of the no sail area. Now when we go through head to wind, the jib on the IF releases, similar to the way it would work on a real boat. Remember, there are two sheets on the jib. The leeward one is going to be tight and the windward one will be loose. As we tack, the windward side changes, and just as on a real life boat, you would release the jib and tighten it on the other side as the wind pushes it to leeward. Now, since there is only one sheet on the mainsail, it's already set for the correct boom angle. The boom is simply going to swing from one side of the boat to the other, but the important thing to remember is it is already set for this optimum wind angle. This works exactly like the boom on a real life sailboat. So as we start this, resist the urge to do anything with the mainsail. Now we also have to shift our avatar to the other side of the boat. And when do we do this? Well, you actually kind of want to do this first. And why do I say that? Remember how we said heeling the boat makes the bow want to turn into the wind. If you move the avatar first, the heel is increased, which increases this weather helm force and helps to bring the bow across the wind. It's exactly what we want to do when we're tacking, and this is called a roll tack. Now the best way to do this is with gestures that will hike from fully out on one side to fully out on the other side. We talked about those in the previous video. Now we also have to turn the boat. Tiller control is really crucial. Release it too early and the boat is going to stall out close to head to wind. Turn it too far and the sails are going to stall on the windward side. The tailtails will droop, the panels will turn blue, and the boat is basically going to just about stop. So turn until the mainsail stops luffing and the tailtails on the main are streaming back. Now this whole time you're trimming the jib. So how does this go? Well, this is the sequence. You hike, you turn, you start trimming the jib, you stop the turn when the mainsail stops luffing, and then you fine tune the jib. And you thought I was kidding when I said it's like playing the piano.